In 1944, a 32-year-old man walked into one of the most dangerous cities in Europe, with no army, no weapons, and no real power. What he did have was a printing press, and by the end of the war, he'd used it to save over 100,000 lives. That summer, Hungary was the last country in Nazi-occupied Europe with a large Jewish population still intact. But that was changing fast. Hundreds of thousands of people had already been deported. Budapest was next. The U.S. War Refugee Board pushed Sweden to send someone to Budapest who could intervene. It was a job almost no one wanted, dangerous, and likely to fail. Wallenberg, a businessman with no diplomatic training, volunteered anyway. He arrived with almost nothing. No army, no authority, no weapons. Just paper, ink, and audacity. His plan was simple but brilliant. Create official-looking Swedish protective passports. He designed them himself, deliberately making them look more impressive than the real thing, because he understood something powerful. Officials feared paperwork mistakes more than they cared about verifying the truth. He printed thousands of them. Then he did something even more dangerous. He started handing them out in person. He'd walk right up to armed guards at the train platforms, calmly hand over a stack of passports, and claim the people in line were protected Swedish citizens. Witnesses described him climbing onto the roofs of train cars, passing passports down through the gaps, while soldiers shouted at him to get down. He rented more than 30 buildings across Budapest, hung Swedish flags outside, and declared them protected territory, packing them with thousands of refugees. As Soviet forces closed in that winter, and retreating Nazi forces grew more desperate, Wallenberg kept negotiating, bribing, and bluffing to keep his network of safe houses standing. By the time Soviet troops liberated Budapest in January 1945, Wallenberg is credited with saving somewhere between 20,000 and 100,000 lives. Then, just days after the liberation, Wallenberg was invited to a meeting with Soviet military command. He was never seen in public again. To this day, his fate is officially unresolved. A man who saved tens of thousands of lives using nothing but paper, nerve, and the belief that no one would question a document confident enough to look official.